Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Oh, John, you know, I had such high hopes for this character. Yeah, they didn't sit there and try to make him look like the original, and yet he wanted people to call him Jagger. But let's just move beyond that. This was the definition of a shit show in that courtroom. And not only John should be embarrassed by it, but the guy who was prosecuting it should have been embarrassed by it because in all reality, he should have sat there and looked at that whole thing and be like, "Wait, I'm sorry, you don't have evidence? Oh, I'm not going in there being bold with full. No, you have to get somebody else. No, you're not going to sit there and tank my reputation." That's what he should have said. I don't understand how he actually went in there with no evidence because what John said so and just went in there and told the judge, "Hey, listen, I think that she should go to jail." Okay, based off what evidence? Well, see, the thing is, we don't have evidence. We got a really good solid witness, but because somebody decided to rush me at the last minute, I couldn't produce her today. But I'm telling you, she's reliable. That guy seemed like he's been practicing law for a very long time. How did he go in there, start at half that sentence, not laugh his ass off at what he's doing? So the judge wanted evidence. That's what she wanted. He gave her something that had nothing to do with her original statement. So at that point, she decided, listen, we're gonna, grant you bail or whatever, and you know, we're reconvening another time. John, like, a lot of people in my chat has been snipped here saying, this is his own worst enemy. He starts yelling. He's like, "You made a mistake. This girl's going to be on the plane to Costa Rica or wherever. Flight risk, all that. You're making a mistake." This judge had enough of this BS. I was like, "Listen, I'm going to give you 48 hours to come up with some actual evidence." That's what I'm saying, evidence. Because I swear, if you don't have that, the only person that's going to be in a cell at this point is you. So John goes back. Sonny is smiling, whatever. He's just kind of chilling, because Alexa's like, "Yo, listen, I go in there, I'm the captain, and you don't act up." Sonny's like, "Listen, I'm not going to do anything. I mean, if he loses coal, which is irony right there, because the entire time he kept trying to get Sonny to lose his cool, and in the end, he did. So, with that being said, he goes back to the prosecutor or the federal prosecutor, whatever. It's like, "What was that?" And at this point, the prosecutor's like, "Yo, listen, you better bring yourself good, because I'm not going to sit there and lose my credibility or whatever because of whatever BS that you got going on." So John goes back to Ava. Now Ava was not there talking to Nina. She tells her everything, whole truth. She didn't mean to actually, you know, cause that to happen with Christina and the baby. It just kind of happened. And I mean all of it. Like, she even admitted that it was stupid what she did. And she did apologize for her trying to, her screwing over Nina with the whole Sunny thing. And as mad as she was about it, at the end of the day, it was probably for the best. And on top of that, she's not as upset about it anymore. There was a point they was actually friends. Um, so she does believe her. They talk it out. She leaves. John comes in there. John's like, he tells her everything that wound up happening. And he was like, where's Scotty at? And John's like, the hell is Scotty at this point? Okay, I'm the only person that you need. So we're gonna go over this. You're gonna sit there and say exactly what I tell you to say. We're gonna practice it until it's perfect. It was like, well, it's getting kind of late. I'm a little tired. I'm just gonna, call it a night. We can do this first thing in the morning. And I was like, yeah, no, we got 48 hours. We got to do this now. He just comes across as so unhinged. You can hear it in the tone of his voice, right? So, I don't know. It's amazing. You get these people to come in, like John. He starts doing things that's just stupid and incompetent. And then once again, Sonny wins, and it's like, you just break. It's a wrestling term for that. I don't think it's heel. It's a wrestling term for that. Could be heel. Yeah, jobber. I think that's what you want to sit there and call it. Anyway, we can get on more of that later on. Molly comes in. Molly apologizes. Well, at first, they talk about Christina and how those photos could look like Christina was the one that caused that whole thing with Ava. Like, maybe Ava's telling the truth, or at the very least, Christina's not innocent in this. Because they did sit there and tell her multiple times, if you didn't go to the hotel, you just sat your ass down, we wouldn't be in this mess. Um, but after they talk about that, they do apologize to each other. Molly apologizes for all of it, for even just putting him in this position, with Christina and Smith saying, you only did this because, you love me and everything. She owned up to her part on that. She owned up to her part on grieving and how she wasn't there for him, and just the way she been handling it. And I've read the comments. A lot of people seem to saying that she should have been there for him, and she should have, she should really own up to it. And the thing is, she did, but she had to do it at her pace. She had to get to a point where she recognized the things she was doing and really owned up to them to a point where she can do things differently. But it's very hard to sit there and do that when you're in that type of grief. That's why, a lot of times in chat or whatever, or just me coming at TJ hard, because even TJ was like, I didn't handle this well. And he didn't. You know? Was Molly grieving? I mean, in all reality, I mean, how do you even really properly grieve? But it's like, was she doing it in a way that was detrimental to herself and him? Yes. But you're grieving, you know? Like you gotta make the mistakes that you make and just go through that process. And not have somebody sit there and be on your ass about this, that, and the third. Anyway, they made up, so because I mean, let's be honest, I don't really think anybody else is gonna go out with those two. Um, so yeah. Now Laura comes to the facility, sees Cyrus, and was like, "What the hell are you doing here?" It's like, "Oh, well, I come here sometimes to check on Lulu and see how she's doing, and I come here about 3 or 4 times a week or whatever. I pray for her and for the other people as well, but I pray for her and stuff." And she's like, "How come you didn't tell me that?" Just to be clear, you're more upset or you're more annoyed with the fact that he didn't tell you that he was there as opposed to him being there in the first place. The guy who is responsible for your little girl being in that very next room in that very nice bed of hers. But you're more upset with the fact that he didn't tell you that about the visits. Okay, yeah, sure, that makes sense. So he leaves, and eventually they sit there. The doctor comes back, the test after test, test. Basically, they're saying that her liver is failing, and if it continues that way, then it's not going to be good. Um, so yeah. Now Sam was there. Sam didn't really do too much of anything. She was at the courthouse. She heard about Lulu. She heard about Christina. Got updated on all that stuff. Came to Molly at one point, wishing that they're saying, well, Christina should have never been there. She just lost her baby. Oh, yeah, my bad. So, yeah. Yeah, like I said, other than that, she didn't really do too much. I almost kind of forgot to sit there and talk about it, except for she was in my notes. And then, of course, there's Dante and Rocco talking. It's such a stupid name. Should have been Ben. Should have been Ben. I call him Rocco. Anyway, he's just there talking about his mom, being very hopeful. Dante's telling him about Laura going to the facility with not much of an update, which just kind of begs the question in a sense. Should he have actually brung that up at all? Just be like, hey, listen, she's out of town, and two, he knows more. Because here's the thing. He basically sat there and said that, your grandmother went to the facility to sit there and see what you call it because they had an update. Now, good thing his mind didn't wander, but your mind can easily wander to places that until you know more, it's probably not best for you to have it wander there. Now, Nina does call somebody and says that you owe me a favor or whatever. I wonder if that favor is for, I wonder if that favor is for Ava. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. I can't really think of anything else, but if I miss anything, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows: General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, Young and Restless. With that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.